It's time for Business 911. Sandra Dueck is here. She always cleans her car before she heads out from the Chamber of Commerce parking lot.
And you want to keep the infrastructure clear around town.
Yes, that was a very good segue. We saw some lovely infrastructure in there, and that's what we're talking about today, because it's going to be one of those things that we're going to hear throughout 2016. Infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure.
Parkway?
Well, not even just roadways.
Okay.
But, you know, maintaining those roadways, maintaining what we have, maintaining the bridges, because maintaining rail, that's another big piece of it as well. But we have to look after what we have, and that's a challenge, because it's those maintenance things that they're not fun, they're messy, I call them messy necessities, because they create.
They don't have that cool hashtag like lovelocal PTBO or great marketing. It's infrastructure.
It's infrastructure, but without it, we're nothing, because that's how we get our goods to market. That's how we get our goods around town. That's how we get our goods, to other international ports and border crossings and all of those sorts of things. So they're an extremely integral and important part of our economy. And so maintaining them is the challenge. And we know that we were part of a policy resolution that went forward to the Canadian Chamber with recommendations to the federal government about how they can build the infrastructure, because we know they've made promises, both the federal and provincial level. There are commitments to infrastructure, which are great, and so we want to see how we will be able to move those forward. We know that Jane Marie Jones, the warden for Peterborough County, was talking about infrastructure earlier this week. You look at the numbers there, they have about $135 million worth of infrastructure needs over the next 10 years. And how do they get that? Right now, we know since 1950, the funding for infrastructure from the federal government has decreased significantly, so that municipalities bear about 67% of the cost. And so where is all that money coming from, and how do we make it so that we can have these great economic thoroughfares to get our goods to market, get our exports going, because we know that the export market is where things are going to be happening.
You're making me a little nervous, but is it like just thinking about that federal money dropping? But I mean, that's what you guys are here for solutions, right?
Yes, and that's some of the ones that we want people to know about are that validate the effectiveness of P3s, and in some cases those have good places where they can land. You want to ensure that investments are open and transparent, and how they work, and make sure that that it's providing stable, predictable funding. Like we have the gas tax fund, which is a good fund because it's stable, predictable funding. But right now that's 2% of the gas revenues that are coming in. So there's a lot more that can be done, and that we'd like to see.
You can find more on infrastructure. Sandra has written a really great article about it at the Peterborough Chamber website. She's a policy analyst, communication specialist for the Greater Peterborough Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much. Let's go to break.
Thanks.